Yeah, it's excellent.
Who are your favorite actors and actresses and why?
Favorite actors and actresses. That's tough. Back then, I don't know. You know, Sylvester Stallone was in a lot of movies, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Out there, my favorites. You saw them a lot. Probably had more respect for some of the older actors, like a Sidney Poitier, who was older. Trying to think like Kirk Douglas, Burt Lancaster, guys like that. People like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. Probably respected those guys a little more. As far as actresses, Emily, you know, I'm trying to think. That was before Julia Roberts and that crew. When Harry Met Sally, so that was a good one. I'm trying to think. What's her name? When Harry Met Sally? Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan. Yeah.
Meg Ryan movies. So like Meg Ryan. Can't think. Joan Cusack. She was a funny one in a lot like Big. She was in Big. I think she was in Big. Was she in Big? Yeah, she was in Big. Anyway, with Joan Cusack, I remember her being in a lot of movies. Yeah.
What did you like about going to the movies?
Well, at home we had VHS players and they were okay, but the movie theater was, you know, at home you had small TVs, you had the big screen, you were able to get away from home. It wasn't very expensive. It was a chance to hang out with your buddies or your friends or whatever and go see a movie. It was a night out. You know, now we can watch movies on Netflix. Back then, if you didn't go to the movies and see it, you didn't see it. There was no way. Maybe it was a Sunday night movie on CBS 5 years later. So the theater was the only place you could see movies.
Wow.
Yeah. So usually I went to the movie theater too. It was pretty full.
Where did you go to the movie theater?
The Harrisburg East 5, where the right by where the Dauphin County Prison is now, and it used to be a Toys R Us, was a movie theater.
Wow.
And that was a very popular movie theater. Up in Colonial Park, there was a movie theater I remember going to. On Derry Street, there was a movie theater that had 2 huge theaters that was usually full. Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of movies in there.
What was your most memorable part about going to the movie theaters?
Going to the movie theaters? I do remember going, and this is when I was probably in junior high, to see movies like The Empire Strikes Back, the Star Trek movies, where me and my brothers and I and our friends, we go and we sit in the front row. Right in the front row with the big screen in front of us. We used to like doing that. That was fun. Yeah.
Why did you like the front row?
You're right there. You're in the movie. You know, you're not distracted. You're sitting right there with all the action. I mean, there was, like I said, there was no one had big screen TVs in home. That's the only place that was like that with the sound, and you know, when you're 14 years old, it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
What do you remember about computers?
I do remember computers. Some people were getting like some of the basic computers they had back there. I can't remember the names of them. That basically just did some word processing. That kept some basic spreadsheets, Emily. I took a programming class in high school where I learned some basic programming, but they obviously weren't as in the middle of everything as they are now. And of course, we've grown exponentially with how much memory they hold, what they can do. But they were, even going into college, we were still keeping things on, you know, these big 5-inch discs, and it was pretty much just word processing. Yeah.
Describe how you would communicate with others through technology.
Telephone.
Telephone?
Telephone, yeah.
Did you have a telephone?
We had telephones in the house. They were hooked up to the wall, and they had the ring cords on them. Yeah.
Did you have a party line?
No, that was before me. Yeah, we just had a phone. But I do remember you had to memorize all your buddies' phone numbers. I remember getting to college, Emily, and having Post-it notes with people's phone numbers on them on the mirror. So if you needed to call somebody, you had that. Yeah. Yeah, there were no cell phones. Yeah.
What do you remember about the presidential races of this era?
What do I remember? I do remember Jimmy Carter. That was when he was finishing up and Ronald Reagan was running for office. I do remember there being a lot of changes when Reagan came in. As you went through the 80s, Emily, it went from Reagan for 2 terms to George Bush Sr., who had been his vice president, was in office and as a president until '92. I remember the Democrats didn't have, from listening to my dad and other people, didn't have any real strong candidates. Like Walter Mondale, the one year was a candidate, he wasn't very strong. But we were in the Cold War, and Reagan was tall. He could tell a joke. He could give a firm handshake and tell people the way it was, and people needed that. And probably needed that more than some of the programs the Democrats were pushing. So, I remember Reagan was a strong president, and Bush tried to just bring along his programs, but wasn't as respected. Didn't have the presence, the charisma that Reagan had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who were your most favorite and least favorite presidents, and why?
During that time?
Anytime.
Oh, from at any time?
Well, from then up till now.
Till now? I really like Obama. I think he's super intelligent, and he's calmly fixed some things with the economy that George W. Bush really wrecked. And not just him, it's how the government works with other groups and with other countries. I think Obama has done a lot to spread peace. Some people don't like him for certain reasons, but I really, with what he's done with the economy, what he's allowed to happen with the economy, how he's stressed equal rights for a lot of people. Some of the social programs he's been involved with, where it's not just handouts, where people have to do certain things to get certain handouts, and how they've been modified. I've liked Obama, yeah. I was not a big fan of George W. Bush. I think Bill Clinton is brilliant, but obviously his moral compass isn't super, and that hurt him. But I really liked Obama. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, did you have a television? When did you get a television? Did you have?
We always had television. When I was a little kid, I remember we had a little black and white TV.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember back to being 4 or 5 years old, and we did have a color television. It was one of those ones that was, like a wood case it was in. It wasn't real big. And then later on, we got to, and they were all tube televisions. They were real deep, Emily. Then we went to some that had, they were like the black television, where there's more of a black case around it. But the biggest one we had was like a 27-inch television was considered large.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think we had in high school, was a 27-inch television. And they had dials on them. You had to get up and physically change the channels. You didn't have a remote. We got a remote when I was probably in high school.
Wow.
Television with remote control. Yeah.
What do you remember about, like the toys when you were a kid?
When I was a little kid in the 70s, I played with Matchbox cars and Army Men and stuff. But a lot of the toys were outside toys, like a big wheel, a green machine. There were things you did outside, wiffle ball. I don't think I had as many of the plasticky kind of toys that kids have now. It was more outside stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we're done.
All right.
So back to the studio.